Please help me.
What's up, everybody? Big D here. Y'all know what it is. Check it out. My brother's struggling big time right now. He is seriously bad off. He's been on coke and heroin, shooting up. Y'all know the same old thing. It's been happening over and over. So I'm just putting it out there up front to let y'all know. I'm trying my best to help him, so I wanted to make this video to give you guys an idea of what I've done before and what I'm trying to do right now. I called a program, it's a workforce program that's free. They work their way in, the same one that Ashton's at, and I'm trying to get Kurt in there, called Stout Street. It's somewhere in Colorado. Now, all that being said, I wanted to tell y'all what I've done in the past and what happened to me. Y'all see my channel. I mean, let's be real. Everybody loves my day 5 and day 7 video because a lot of people relate to what I said and what I did. I like those videos. I mean, dude, who stands up talking about, man, I was so constipated, I had to stick enemas up my ass to get the shit out. And on my day 5 where I'm sitting there and I'm just zoning out and I'm so out of it and I'm talking about my, man, it's just the same shit over and over and over again. And I went to snorting oxys and this and this and that. Everybody enjoys and eats it up. It's the most famous videos I have on my channel, and it probably always will be because people relate to it and enjoy that content more than the recovery shit. Honestly, 5 to 7% of people even make it past and out of the fog and try to get recovery. So once you get past like 30 days, you notice my videos start to taper down. They're not as popular. That's because I'm speaking recovery now. I'm not talking like I once was when I was still in active addiction. I started to change the way I thought. If you see the progression of my videos, you see that. All right, I digress. I want to make this point. Intervention. There was somewhat of an intervention that happened to me. It wasn't as formal as you would see on the show called intervention, or as you would see some people do for their loved ones, but I felt like I had no choice. Either I said no and my family would have nothing to do with me, or I needed to get them off of my back and go get help. Even though I was really not going in to want to get help, I didn't really want to do it. I went to this lady's house to get them off my back, and while I was there and the chemicals were leaving, I started to have these moments of realization of what was going on. I was about to lose my kids because DHS or DSS, Department of Social Services, was ready to take them. Someone called in and ratted me out and said I was doing heroin. So they wanted me to come down and do urinalysis, and they wanted to check me out. I looked like shit. They would have known something's up. I also was on probation, so I was having a fake piss test while they watched me from behind trying to make it through a piss test at probation. Couldn't do that anymore. So now the next thing I had on top of that is I had this felony charge that I needed to pay my restitution for on it. I was doing all sorts of dumb shit that I should never have done. My whole family's miserable. I'm living on the streets, sleeping on couch to couch. My wife kicked me out of my own house. I was stealing the TV that I bought my kids 2 Christmases ago just to keep my high going. And I'm just keeping it 100 with you to let you know, I had saw these things, but I couldn't see them till I was clean, till I had chemicals leaving my brain, till I was at this lady's house and I started to realize, what the fuck have I been doing? I need help. I need help. I can't do this by myself. So I cried out inside and I was like, whatever you are, if you're there, help me, please. And I felt like something listened to me. Even if it was my own consciousness paying attention to my own voice within myself. Whether you believe or don't, it don't matter. Whatever I did, it changed and I stuck with it. I don't recommend you do it on a fucking house or on a couch or, no, go to a treatment center, go to a program, go somewhere away and physically separate yourself. And if you're a loved one of someone who uses, get them away. They can't do it where they're at. People, places, and things. Now, I got Kurt currently trying to get into this program. He's reluctant to go. He's reluctant because he's like, that's a long program and this and this and that. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't feel good right now. Back in the day, the only way I could get him, and I don't recommend you do this, is that one more last time, bro. If I could just use one more last time, then I'll go. And I would, and he would go. He would go because I'm his brother and I pushed him. I had to be consistent. I couldn't enable him anymore. And my mom, they don't know how to not enable him. There's codependency issues. There's enabling issues. There's all sorts of shit, man. And it's never going to get better as long as they keep an active addiction. And if I was in North Carolina right now, I'd go and I'd grab him and hug him and let him know how much I really love him. And I really do. And if I had him right now and I squeezed him and I told him how much I loved him and that I wanted nothing but the best for him, and he told me one more last time, I would, and I'd take him to a program. I would take him somewhere and he would go with me. and I would get him in somewhere. I'm all the way in Washington State right now. I'm trying to do this over a telephone. I'm trying to get my mom and dad to be motivated enough to do this. And I'm saying all of this to say, you ever watch the intervention show and you know how they go in there and they sit down with their loved one and they tell them how much they love them first and they want to express so they could tap into the emotions that are through the chemicals that they have in their body. And then a lot of times they'll cry or they'll tear up and then they tap in, they get through, and then they let them know, you have to take this program or I can't be part of your life anymore. And then they feel like they have to make a decision, a coercive decision. Yeah, a decision against what they really want to do that makes them want to try, to reach for hope, to hope for hope, to have some faith, which, the definition of faith, right, is the evidence of things not seen, right, but believing. I'm hoping, I have faith that Kurt will go into a program, or that Kurt can get help. I don't want him to die, because he's going to die if he doesn't get it. And someone out there that's watching this might also feel the same way and know exactly where I'm coming from. So I'm trying to keep it 100 with you guys and let you know exactly what is going on in my life. That's been the whole point of this channel, is to be transparent. It wasn't let me get as many people and be popular and this and that. No, how many people can be helped by what I'm saying, because this is real experience that I'm spitting right here. I'm telling you guys real truth on the street, like what happens and what it took for me. Some people need to go to prison to have this long period separated. But a lot of times, why do they get out of prison and go straight back to the drugs? Nothing changed. The brain didn't rewire. There's a big change that took place in me. And I want that. I wish I was a neurosurgeon. I could just change your brain and fix your problems. But I can't. And too often we in recovery feel that way. People early on my channel, they see day 5, day 7, they relate to that. When I talk what I'm talking now, a lot of times this isn't the one that they're like, yeah, because it's more direct and it tells you what's going on. Fingers crossed Kurt gets into a program, guys. Fingers crossed. But it's a very difficult process, and he's got to get the chemicals out before he can get any work done in his brain and in his life to rewire the way he thinks. There's nothing else I can do. My hands are tied. I wish I could get him into a program. I know that you feel the same way, but I said this because someone out there's family member or someone themselves needs to know what the family member's thinking and what they need. And if you just go, trust me, it will get better. I don't know how other way to put that for those of you who are actually going through this with people. That right there is my mom calling me with Kurt on the phone. I have to go. I love you guys. I hope this helped. All right, so I just got off the phone with Mom about 5 minutes ago, and looks like Kurt's going to go in at 1 o'clock to speak to this counselor. This counselor may hopefully steer him in the right direction into turning himself to getting help, that kind of thing. Fingers crossed, everybody, because he can't really make, this is the kind of point I'm conveying here. When we're in active addiction, we almost cannot make those decisions for ourselves. This is why interventions are necessary. The chemicals have us so jacked up and our lifestyle so messed up, someone has to kind of come in and force you into a detox situation. That's why jail a lot of times does save people's ass, even though you know my thoughts on that. They don't really get the treatment that they need. People need help with their minds. They need to know how to discover who they are. And Ashton in this program at Stout Street, when I last spoke with him, he was telling me some very good things. He's learned a lot about himself and how to deal with anger and deal with resentments and deal with things that he doesn't get mad about anymore like he used to. Silly things that he would get offended by or upset over. All that kind of stuff. Like, that's way ahead of the part I'm trying to get at, because we want to get them in and get them the help they need. And I'm just hoping that America and the world really starts to see this and something better comes of it. I just wish there was something better that came of it, you know? He's gone to these methadone clinics. He's gone to Suboxones. He's never taken those serious and never really committed. And that's why I'm thinking he really needs to be inside of some type of facility to at least get off this shit, because he's killing himself. But, you know, he's been doing that near Fayetteville, North Carolina for some time, and his wife just goes and picks him up because they're voluntary. Even when he was in jail, You know, she would come see him. There was still communication there. And somehow, I'm going to lay this out there. Somehow, even in jail, Kurt was doing Suboxone. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, like as if someone who's doing the program, but think about this. You're not allowed to have that where he was at. How did he get it? And he kept getting it somehow. So he's forcing himself to take something in a place where he doesn't even need to have it, because it's not like he's going to use the drug while he's there. Why is he on the Suboxone in jail when there's not like this overload like prisons do? Prisons have all these drugs that get in and shit. It's not like that. The shit was coming in through an envelope. Come to find out, in an envelope. Really? Get caught doing that, you find yourself with a felony. Just saying. Love you guys, and I hope this video helps somebody, because I'm going through it. I'm living this shit right now. I'm having to experience all of this every time this turns around, and I wish I knew how to fix people. People come to me like I'm the guru. I'm just a guy, man. I'm just a guy. I am just as human as everybody else. I've enabled Kurt before. I probably enable my wife sometimes when she struggles. So it's like, you know, I'm a guy just telling you my experience. Do with it what you will. Thanks for checking this out, and I hope you guys get some help out of this. Maybe it just something. Maybe you guys can give me some motivation and encouragement. Love y'all.